No, nobody saw that. Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Nobody saw that. All right. Hi.
Oh,
Good.
you showed this.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. I accidentally clicked it. We're not going to talk about it. Hi guys. You may notice that we're all static images. We're gonna do actual podcasts today. Lime is not feeling well. I just got home today, so I really don't have time to clean my room and get everything set up to have a camera and look pretty. And Shorty was ready, so good on him. He was ready.
For once. I was
once.
waiting in Video Ninja for half an hour and nobody came.
Oh,
Nobody joined me.
No.
Oh no. Today's podcast is a little different on multiple levels. First off, one, our production guy is not here, so surely Chris would have done the same exact thing where the intro video was playing and then he would have went to the podcast chat by accident for like a quick second and switched back over. Surely Chris would have done the same thing I just did. Yeah, I'm handling production today, so good luck everybody. On top of that, it's also happy birthday to Evo. It is Evo's 6th birthday today.
Yeah,
Evo,
happy birthday, Evo. I'm not gonna sing though.
Yeah. Technically, according to Phenom, there are 3 Evo birthdays. There's one where the server was started, which was like back in like July. Then there's when Evo, the name was created, which was today, 6 years ago. And then there's the Evo birthday for the Evo Esports, like us becoming an official club, which would be back in February or March. So yeah, but today is the name day birthday of Evo. And so happy birthday to Evo. It's been a crazy 6 years that I have not been a part of. So
I mean, same.
We're all a bunch of babies when it comes to the history of Evo, but actually pretty much everybody in Evo at this point, minus like 4 or 5 people, are brand new, like since 2020. So those people being Snyx, Chroma, Kirill, Link, and Phenom. Probably you could add Inertia in there. Maybe I'm forgetting 1 or 2. Sorry if I did. Oh well. But yeah, there's quite a few people that are still here from the very beginning. Breaker, yes, thank you. And yeah, from that perspective, a lot has happened. Okay, did Phenom actually end up writing his whole like shenanigans that I asked him to do?
Maybe he did, but he didn't post it, I think.
He didn't. So yeah. So gather around, children. This is how Evo started. A server was started by Phenom back in 2017-ish, with along with the help of Breaker, who did the controller, the Evo SC, which eventually became the Evo SC controller that is used on all of our servers. Team formed together. The team officially named itself Evo later on, which would be today, 6 years ago. There was a full speed team in Evo in Trackmania 2, started out in Trackmania 2, and kind of thrived through there. And the servers grew through Stadium 2. Evo got early access to Trackmania 2020 as some of the early alpha testers back then. And that's how Evo servers were able to be some of the very first dedicated servers available on the Trackmania 2020 platform. From there, the servers grew, popularity grew for the full speed beginner server. That was kind of the main one. There was also a dirt server, a tech server, but that was pretty much it for the servers.
I mean, the Ice server was maybe the most notable because obviously Ice was the new service that came with Team 2020 and Evo. I remember that like one of the big goals that Phenom once told me was that he saw Ice and he was like, okay, this is a good opportunity. Let's be the very first ones to like have a proper Ice server.
Yeah. And we did that, I think, relatively successfully. And yeah, from then on, now we can get to the part where I actually remember things. I entered Evo as a Discord moderator. Spoke to Phenom and told Phenom, hey, I just moved to Germany and I'm looking to meet new friends. and became a Discord moderator in 2020. Then later on, Chris joined shortly before me in Evo, and Chris was one of the developers helping out with developing and whatnot. And then eventually, the idea of engaging more with those who were playing on the servers, creating a bigger community, a more engaged community for Evo was something that Evo wanted to do. So we created the casual team as the first initiative. I just joined as a member initially. Chris was leading it with Snicks. Snicks was actually kind of like the main focus behind that. And there's a whole history with the casual team, but that's it's just a highlight. But casual team happened. Then we go from casual team to then growing the casual team, which was really successful. We had our first ever ice team forming as well. We brought on Skarzer for that short time. Skarzer led the ice team. Ice people, chill. Don't get triggered. Skarzer did his own thing. Skarzer left. Skarzer's gone. Then, ice team formed. We had Evo Ice Cup, the first Ice Cup even before the Ice Team, and then we had Evo Ice Cup 2 that happened. We also had Evo Full Speed Weekly, and starting in 2022, we had Evo Dirt Weekly as well. Then, magically in April, I have a conversation with a guy from Hamburg, Germany, named Vemser. And eventually down the road, later that year in 2022, we had our first ever involved LAN event called Trackmania. From Trackmania, we go down further the line. We have a couple competitions here and there. I believe we had an Ice Weekly on top of the Dirt Weekly. We had the Evo Advent Calendar. We also had our own Evo campaign. I didn't say FS Weekly yet. It's really mad. So yeah, Evo Full Speed Survival. Did I say Evo? Did I say FS Weekly? I meant to Evo Full Speed Survival. Fight me, Sticks. Really bad.
Those are very important details.
They are very important details. Listen, it's hard to keep track of all the things that happen because it's really insane. Yep. I feel like I don't do enough. And to look back on everything that we've done so far in the last 2 years, I'm like, holy crap, we've actually done a lot. Like a lot. Yeah, and then 2023 comes around. What did we do at the beginning of 2023? There was something that we did. There was a competition, I think, right? Did we have a competition? I mean, we started the podcast. Yes, we started the podcast. I initiated talks with Experion, and then it confirmed like almost by March for XP Evo, because we found out in December that Arcadia Hotel, which had Trackmania, was closing down. And so massive panic ensued because they're like, bro, we just had this cool thing happen and now we may not get it next year.
Yeah, especially because they were so happy about the event, right? And they would have definitely want to host it again.
Yeah. Oh, Polly joined Evo in 2023. Yep, big milestone. True. Quite a few people joined.
Obviously, I joined in 2022.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's right. We opened a backwards server with you. You joined, and we opened a backwards server.
Yeah, I definitely really need to get back into that. I didn't do anything with that. Even now, I'm back though.
What else did we do? I mean, Lime joined also slightly before that time. We tried to build a content creator team. That's still in the works. Snippin, if he's here, he's probably not. But Snippin, we're supposed to be working on that. And then on top of that, it was something else involving Lime. I think I don't remember. There's so many things.
I mean, Lime definitely joined before me. That's what I know.
No, I joined after Trackmania.
Right. Yeah, you joined after Trackmania.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, because after Trackmania is when I was like, oh my gosh, we should ride this wave and try to start like a streamer team.
And then actually, I told Venom, you know what? We could do a podcast.
Yeah.
The idea of the podcast was mine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lime, creator of podcasts.
Yeah, I wanted to have a podcast because I used to have a podcast with my friends. So
I mean, the
yeah,
idea.
thank you everybody. You're completely welcome about having this podcast. It was me now.
Yeah, it was that, and then obviously we had XP Evo, but we had something really crazy. We had another Dirt Weekly. There's something massive that I'm missing that it popped in my head and then it disappeared. I'm really mad because it was actually really.
Something
Hello, yes. Eminem Gaming merged with Evo.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, true.
Yes,
that's the thing. Yes,
that
that's why
is
Speedy is
major.
there.
That's why Speedy and everybody from Eminem are with us. That is something that I need to obviously not forget because that's a really huge thing that happened last year. That happened in April, I think. I think April.
April this year.
Yeah, it's crazy how long it's been. Yeah, April. So I knew I was forgetting something. I was like, bro, it's got to be Eminem. And no, I promise nobody reminded me of that. I thought that of my own. So good job, import. Yeah, Evo got second place world championship, by the way, because Pac was Eminem. Surely, that's how that worked. Yeah, so now we're here at the end of 2023 almost, with a lot of events under our belt, a lot of experiences, and we have a lot more things cooking. Oh, Evo also become an official sports club back in February, but we already kind of mentioned that already. So, yeah, happy birthday, Evo. A solid.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us, having me.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be able to have a voice, and Evo has given me that voice and an ability to create positive change for esports and Trackmania, and so and community, and I hope to continue to do that, even despite if Nadeo doesn't want it to happen. Which we're gonna, I guess, move into now.
Are we gonna talk about that at all?
Well, I mean, we're gonna talk about everything that's been going on. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna go through our dropped. We have a dropped gears channel of all the things we want to talk about. Usually, we just kind of mention it, and then we'll bring it up later. First off, I mean, I guess we talk about the snow car release because obviously that's something that has now happened.
Yeah, I have notes about. I have a very long list of notes about that. Maybe I mean, I don't. Okay, maybe let's everyone just say like very briefly what our overall opinion on the update is, and I'm not saying about how Nadeo totally screwed over thousands of maps with the update. I think that's a topic in itself. But what do you think about snow and the physics of it?
Snow, as far as the update itself, literally disregarding anything that happened.
Yeah, only the content.
Only
because
the
it's also,
content.
like separate things.
Genuinely, I have no issues with it, and I really enjoy it.
Okay. Like,
because I'm
hilarious.
a controller player, so I'm not affected by it. Yes, Lime.
I said that it's hilarious.
Oh.
I like it. I mean, hilarious in a good way. I like it. I like the car. It's just so cute. I like how fast it is. It's really weird, but I enjoy it. I mean, I haven't played it myself because I've been sick since the things got out. But I've been watching Gecko playing it, and I was like, yeah, that shit is really funny. I like it as a content. Finally, they got some content out, so it's really nice. Well, yeah. Now with the other thing that happened, no, I don't like that.
Okay, then let me go down.
While you do that, I'm gonna grab a Pepsi. I'm gonna let you take care of.
Okay. It's gonna take a while anyway. Just Lime, please stop me if I'm going too far. Okay, so
Okay.
overall, at the beginning, I really don't like it. What I do like,
Why?
I like how they implemented it. I like that they are using gates within the map, so you can just anytime on the map grab a gate and change between the cars. I think that's super cool, and I think that's something that is definitely elevating the whole kind of feel of having multiple cars in the game, because having it fully separated, like they always were before, was causing so many issues. Like they tried, like with United Forever, it was fully separated, kind of. Title packs in TM2 were even worse than United, and now I think finally they implemented it in a way where it's just feeling seamlessly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now to the problems. I really, really don't like smooth steering. I hate smooth steering. I go that far. I absolutely hate smooth steering. I'm a controller player, and I usually don't really feel like a controller player because I have just zero control over my stick. Like I'm playing like a keyboard player. If you watch me and you look at my inputs, you wouldn't even be able to tell I'm a controller player. So obviously I'm biased with that. Like biased a lot. I don't like smooth steering, and obviously with that snow car in United, I actually kind of like it because it doesn't require smooth steering that much, but the way they implemented dirt, grass, and wet tires is is what I'm having a big issue with, and I tell you why. Um, I always thought that Stadium, or at least I think that Stadium, one of the reasons why Stadium is so popular is down to the fact that also keyboard is competitive. It's not the biggest reason why it's overly popular, but I do think that Stadium and Stadium Car is a little bit. I mean, it's the main it's the most popular style we have, right? Like the other environments, they are all cool and everything, and people like it. They are United players that absolutely love everything except Stadium, of course. Um, because they like how it is, but I think that
Mm-hmm.
Stadium is most popular because of the physics to a lot of degree as well. And you could see that Nadeo slowly also moved in this direction with GM2, where they first introduced Canyon, which is also really well balanced between keyboard and pad. Apparently, even keyboard is supposed to be a little bit better nowadays, but for years that wasn't known or nobody really talked about that being the case. They added Valley, which is also totally fine if you play with keyboard, and they also added Lagoon, which even though Lagoon also has similarly like fast and insane steering as Snow, is also very possible to play with keyboard. And I don't really understand why after this time, especially with barely any gameplay changes out of nowhere, without anyone knowing, they implement snow, and especially implement snow the way they did with dirt and grass. Like I feel like the thought of keyboard players is just completely thrown out of the window. And I'm not just saying that I personally don't like it. I'm just saying that a huge part of the community, not only because of Virtual, but obviously also a lot because of Virtual, because he's a keyboard player himself, is just now sitting here and like, but what do I do with this? And obviously now you can say, hey, you don't have to play it if you don't like the snowcar, if you can't smooth it with keyboard, that's fine. But that at the same time means that you basically just introduce content to like only half of the player base. And my main issue that I currently have with this, if you continue down this road, especially Nadir mentioned they want to add Rally. Rally is the most, not the most, but one of the most keyboard unfriendly surfaces in general. And if and not only do they add coast, but obviously if they want to add coast, TM20 has a lot more surfaces than United Coast has. And all those surfaces are also going to get smooth steering because that just makes sense for for the coast car. And at some point we're going to probably then end up with like 5 cars in the game, and all the keyboard players that are right now a big percentage of the game are still only able to play Stadium. And right now, for example, the only content, the biggest content that people enjoy daily is Track of the Day and Cup of the Day. And nowadays, some players don't like Ice, some players don't like Full Speed, some don't like Tech. But usually you can say in a day or in a week, I have 7 Track of the Day, 7 Cup of the Days, and out of those 7, maybe 3 or 4 maps I will like. Some of them I don't really like, and maybe one of them each week I'm not gonna play because I hate the style. But if you have 5 cars, how many of those Track of the Days each week are you still gonna enjoy? Maybe 1 or 2 out of 7? Like overall, you know? That's like one of my that is one of the reasons, one of the things that I'm a little bit scared of. Like I feel like what Nadeo did with adding snow instead of potentially adding something like Canyon, I think they're just not really going the direction I personally would have think would succeed. I mean, this is obviously a lot of speculation on my part. I could be totally wrong. The player base could be just adjusted, and some keyboard players just naturally smooth, just go into transition into gameplay players because they like the gameplay, and then I mean, not everyone is like virtual and like 100 caring about, I have to play this with keyboard. Not everyone is like that. People are going to adapt, some of them. I just personally think that the percentage may not be that great. I think it's a little bit rushed. I think after 3 years of basically no content updates, doubling the gameplay is such a big step out of nothing. Like, you don't know how it's going to turn out. Like, why did they, for example, what I would have done, even with the snow car, they added a new surface. Why do you add a new surface? You already have dirt, grass, and wet tires to like make some sense for the snow car. Why do you have to add a new surface in general? You don't need to add a new surface anyway.
Can I
You
hop in
already
here?
have more than enough surfaces right now. Like, if they add like now, when they add the next car, not only do they have to find gameplay for the surfaces that are already there, but also the one they added for the snow car as well. It's just so much, you know?
Let me hop in here. Yes.
Yeah, I should stop at this point. But basically, I explained pretty well what I
No, I
personally
think the
don't like about it,
explanation was really nice.
and I think this is obviously something that only the future will tell. But I know a lot of Stadium Andies are a little bit pissed with the update, not only keyboard players, and I hope that this is not the wrong direction.
Well, I
But I
mean,
feel like it is.
I think they've already announced obviously that Valley and Desert are coming.
Rally and Desert, yeah.
Yeah, Valley's going to come in April. Desert's going to come in the summer update, I believe. Yeah, I fully expect them, obviously, with the new car to bring in a full new surface or something yuck that they're going to bring in with it. So yeah. I mean, I know why they're doing it.
I also know why they are doing it, but
The thing is that
why
they
snow?
said that
Why
they
United
wanted
Environments?
that they said that they wanted to put out and focus more into the content that they want to add to
Yeah,
the
that is
game. So
amazing. That is great.
yeah, but I guess that's why they are like, oh, the only content that we can put out right now is this.
Well, I think it's
And
also just on top of that is that they had the two failed projects of Orbital and Legrand for Trackmania that they were trying to bring out, which were going to include these environments. And so Ubisoft slapped them on the hand and said, "Yo, focus on the current live service game that you're currently operating on." And so, like, how can we combine the two? And this is their solution to bring essentially the environments that they were going to have in their new games, and bring them into 2020.
Yeah, probably. I mean, that's stupid, but yeah, I totally see that. They were rushing things as always. Nadio is just always rushing these things. Like, they do nothing for 3 years, and now they introduce like basically this new car is like a second. Like, it just doubles, and because it has a new surface, it more than doubles the gameplay out of nothing. Why does it have to be so rushed? They should have known that they have a huge percentage of keyboard players. They should have at least, considered this before. Like, when Hylis watched Virtual in that one stream and he was talking to him, it seemed like he didn't even think about this problem before. How do you not think about it? Like, obviously
I don't
they have
think
their
he
own.
thinks.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like that as well.
This is the perfect opportunity for me to read a tweet. Sorry, guys, I don't have the on the show today. I don't have the slide set up for showing
fine.
tweets and everything. So you guys are just gonna have to deal with that. But
We're in a really low budget today.
yeah, we're on low production budget today. I didn't pay the production hamster his monthly allowance
I
of.
need to open the washing machine.
I didn't
At
pay his
least the
monthly
ones
allowance of
listening
feed.
on Spotify won't feel like they missed something then.
Yeah, but I can read out a tweet that triggered me to no end. To answer you, Shorty, if I can just find it real quick here,
Yeah,
because
sure.
I wrote it in French.
Wow.
Yeah, Import speaks French, guys. For as of a couple days ago, And let's see if I can find it. Obviously, I made the tweet. There's nothing more disappointing than somebody who isn't capable of taking criticism. Hiding behind a 20 years excuse is so disrespectful to others who also have experience in game design, esports, and more. What was I referring to, ladies and gentlemen? And I will... So, G-Geek made a post. So I'll read his first. He said, this was all related to Hylis and his long twit longer of like, I can't believe I wake up, you know, after 20 years of game design to come to such an awesome update. And here's the thing about the update. Yeah, sorry about the deco walls with the wood and everything, but that was intended. Kick W. And then people are like justifiably pissed because they're like, excuse you? Like,
Yeah, maybe to say that. So what they did is they added a new quote unquote the new surface, right, which is wood, and obviously the decoration walls of all the blocks they used wood, and instead of making those two separate things because the wood walls already have their physics, obviously, they just overwritten the physics of every single wood wall on all the maps of all, I don't know how many millions of maps we have.
it's over 1,000 that it affects.
Yeah, it's over 1,000 of maps that now are broken because of this, because they didn't just introduce this wood as a new physics ID, but they used the one from the walls and just changed the physics of them.
So yeah, and that's not an exaggeration. It's quite literally 1,000 or more maps that have been affected by this update, as there are many maps that use the wood, especially full speed maps. Not a ton of full speed maps, but there are quite a few full speed maps, including a current full speed major series map that was recently affected by this. So yeah, no, G-Geek responded to this and he's like, you know, the update's pleasant in terms of game feel, but this compatibility point about the wood saddens me somewhat. Some competitive maps currently in play using wood have become unplayable and irreparable within a reasonable amount of time. Also, there was a world championship map that also used wood as a surface with the deco wood. And then he G continues, let's introduce a new surface gameplay, yes, but not by sacrificing the maps using the surfaces affected by these adjustments. Hope that a solution will be found to overcome this and keep them for the old physics. And then Hylis, which set me off. I didn't go in because obviously I have to try to maintain some goodwill with those who unfortunately have the power that be. Because I, as an event organizer, have to play nice with everybody, even if I vehemently disagree with how they act or behave.
I mean, I gladly woke up after all this Twitter stuff was already over, so I couldn't intervene, but I probably would have also said something nasty at some point.
So, Hylis says, so no new gameplay or evolution if it breaks maps? So basically,
Yes.
yeah, he's like,
Yes.
there should be no new gameplay or evolution if it breaks maps? Not an easy decision. In any case, it is not one we made here. While being well aware of the fact of breaking certain maps, we've been doing Trackmania for over 20 years, of course. He, bro hit us with the, we've been doing this for 20 years, nerd. How dare you? Like, I'm so mad.
You know,
so
one
mad.
thing that
She's doing
catches
such
my
a great job.
attention is that he always says, I have 20 years of experience. Having 20 years of experience doesn't mean that you actually know
You
how
have,
to do it. Like,
they made a
you
lot
can
of
have
games.
20
don't get me
years
wrong.
of experience, yes, but that doesn't mean that you will know how to do things perfectly all the time. It doesn't mean that, you know? You've just been working for 20 years. Yes. Are you going... That also allows you to make mistakes and to learn from them. But in 20 years of experience, he hasn't learned to mend any mistakes, kinda. It's crazy, man. It's fucking crazy how someone can have little to no self-criticism in order to make things better, and to
I mean, it's
not listen to anyone. Listen to anyone. I'm the expert here. None of you have any opinion on how to do things because I'm the one that has 20 years of experience, brother. get the fucking ego out of yourself.
Like, it's so funny when you see that wall of text. You can literally see in one of the tweets where he's like telling you, but I'm listening to the community. I knew this is a problem, but trust me, guys, this is
Trust
the
me,
best way, definitely.
guys.
We can't make the game more bigger than 3 gigabytes. This is impossible. This is breaking thousands of maps is definitely a better option. And everyone is like, huh? like,
Brilliant, and
like you
the
can
dude
tell that
got
he thinks he understands the community, but he definitely does not. And the
that
way
dude
he
got
handled
stuck in
himself then is
20
so bad.
in I don't know in like the 2000. We cannot make the game bigger than 3 gigabytes.
I mean,
Every game, any game that
that
you're
was
playing
one
right
of
now
the
is like 10
reasons.
gigabytes.
But
Eh,
and then the other point he brings up, but having two different woods would be
Confusing.
would be confusing and would be complicated.
What
Like,
is
mate,
confusing about it?
did you take a look at this game? Do you sometimes see what people have to do on TMGL maps? Nothing of this makes any sense at all. Like, trust me, bro. Players
The
that play
only thing that
Trackmania,
is confusing
if
is
I
the
see
fucking
Darkwood
GUI that we have.
and Lightwood, I will understand that those two feel differently, and I will make the connections. Oh, okay, on this one I have to do this, and on the, like that. This game itself is already way too overcomplicated. If you really want to go down this road, like it just makes no sense at all. This argument. We
Uh,
can't have two different wood physics. Of course we can, mate. We have 20,000. You just updated. You just added more than half of what we already had in gameplay with one update, and you say you can't have two different wood physics? Huh?
I don't know what makes me more angry, the ignorance or the audacity to say, okay, let's Lime, maybe you were aware of this. Back in how long ago was this? 2014, 2015? There was a rioter who hopped into Reddit because there was a lot of criticism about the balance changes in League of Legends at the time. And the rioter came in there and he said, you know what, honestly, 9 times out of 10 or like 10 times out of 10, I will always trust the knowledge and experience of our developers, as we have over 200 years combined experience. So we know what we're doing.
Yes.
Mm. Yeah,
And
definitely.
it was the most memed statement on the planet. Literally to this day, anytime something bad, yeah, that was the Aphelios update. Thank you, Polly. Yeah, like anytime something bad balance happens wise for League of Legends, that same comment is brought up every single time.
Yes.
So if you don't think I'm going to be using this 20 years of experience meme from here on out regarding Trackmania, like, get ready. Because how do you say that with a straight face, seeing that your game is a dumpster fire in certain areas? In other ways, it's doing okay. I'm not gonna lie. Like Trackmania, Nadeo, surprisingly for how many games Nadeo has released, considering they're all just kind of amalgamations of previous versions of the game. Like,
Yeah, I mean, because Stadium is just still the only, relevant one. That's why
interesting.
maybe you should have. It's the truth though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even when Canyon got released, Stadium still was bigger than Canyon.
When
even though
people think of
obviously-
Trackmania, do they really think of Canyon, or like do they really think of Valley or Desert or Snow? No, they think of the Stadium game.
they think of Nations Forever
Yeah.
mostly, or the ones
Yeah.
that nowadays the new generation thinks of TM 2020 through, Virtual making it big.
Yeah, surely, because it was all through Virtual. Thank you, Virtual, for everything.
I mean, not only through them. Hey, we have to thank Voldemort as well, because he obviously brought it. he made
Voldemort.
it. He made it possible. That's someone else said that lately. But I mean, obviously, the scandal that he produced obviously is the reason itself. Not only Virtual, but the combination of the scandal due to Riolo and Virtual and Donatigo, those three interchangeable, they made the scandal so big and the game itself so big. Like, that scandal was
you have to
really
give
good for
credit to
Trackmania.
them. Yeah,
Yeah,
that is true.
for
I
making
mean,
Trackmania this big, they have a huge part of that as well.
It's true.
whether people like it or not, Virtual making those YouTube videos, they are quite entertaining. He brought like a shit ton of people to the game.
Thing is, I feel like people.
and he
Go ahead, sorry.
and he is like doing connections, networking, trying to show the game as many people as possible he could, and that's fine. That's good. Like outside of what he has done, like with the cheating keyboard things that he keeps doing for some reason, you
Oh
have
yeah,
to
can we
say
talk
that the
about it
man
after
is
this?
is
Oh,
doing the
there's
networking and is
we
showing
got a
the
whole
game.
topic. You know what? Let me change this real quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
but yeah, okay, continue input.
So, because we get ratted on a lot for Evo, like hating on virtual. I am fully aware of the good that virtual has done for Trackmania. I just feel like the fame's gotten a little bit to his head, and I feel like he does things based on content because now he is a full-time streamer. Somebody wrote this on Reddit, and I think they're 100% on the mark. It was a Trackmania United player that made this long Reddit post about what virtual did. But I'm not going to focus on like the whole like the DX tweak thing just yet. But just like virtual's purpose, he's now a full-time content creator. He doesn't work. He works as a full-time content creator. So he is going to do things that are going to drive clicks and notice. And so this is something, and there are other things that drive clicks and attention towards his platform. And so this is going to be one of those things. There's other times that has happened too. There's something that I just don't understand why everybody has suddenly forgotten. But I mean, there was this one time where Virtual did a fake flag as an Indian player and then named himself Lee Gandhi. But we don't ever bring that up either.
wait, what? I don't even know that.
You
I
didn't
only
know that?
Mufat.
Yeah, bro.
I didn't.
He straight up. It was so like, I don't want to call it out, but I'm gonna call it out. It was racist, is what basically what it was. It was like he faked flag as an Indian player for Cup of the Day. You know when he did his move at thing with like Turkey, he did it.
Yeah, I didn't even know that as well at the beginning because nobody watches virtual. I mean, sorry to say this as well, but as a good player in Trackmania, nobody watch from us, like from the semi-pro good level of players. We don't watch virtual. That's not our content.
Yeah, I mean, I typically don't watch it either, but it was brought up in the manager Discord, the TM manager Discord, and somebody was like, "Yo, Virtual's running an Indian flag, and he named his account Lee Gandhi." Like, bro, what in what world do you think that's okay? So like, this is not, but this is the new Virtual. This is the Virtual who drives clicks, who gathers attention. He knew he was going to get attention from it. He was 100% understanding that he was doing it, and his choices are questionable sometimes. And like he'll do things to the DX tweak thing, for example. He will legitimately cheat in the game. Not legitimately. He will just straight up cheat in the game to gather some attention. And like, it's okay though, because it's virtual, guys. Surely. And we can't say anything about it because we're just evil. We just have this hard this hate for virtual. It's not that. It's just like, be an adult, act mature, and like maybe wield your influence more responsibly. I don't know, like maybe not act like a man child, just like Hylis and others. Derek, who we'll get to Derek in a minute. Yeah, just like act like an adult. Stop being so childish, bro.
And you know, when we talked about the controversy with Midori last time, that when I said that, hey, I have no problems with him what he did, like as like cheating wise or like not cheating wise, because there definitely has not been an actual rule for it. Even though, if you think about it, you kind of notice, wait a minute, I'm the only one that can do this. Huh? Maybe this is a problem. But anyway, considering nobody really was aware of it, and once people were aware of it, he also stopped doing it immediately. That was fine by me, not getting like banned for that, obviously, back then. The only thing that really annoyed me was that the way he handled himself on Twitter, and the way he just continued to misrepresent what the streak is and misrepresent what he did. That was what annoyed me. This time though, he's 100% cheating. He's 100% going against a clear rule that has been set. Okay, not the clearest rule of all of them. Obviously, I get that. The ruling is still really bad, and I do think we need better ruling. But openly cheating with his analog keyboard to somehow prove keyboard has a problem Huh? What? Why are you not cheating with keyboard then at least? Like, hey, I thought you want to bring attention to keyboard being a problem. Why are you then using an analog device? That makes no sense. Like he's not even, he's not even actually playing as a keyboard player. He's essentially like what is analog keyboard is. It's nothing else than a controller. Essentially, it's analog input, just like with a gamepad. Why is he cheating with his analog input device and then somehow wants to make this topic about keyboard having a problem?
It's because that is
That's just
the
cheating.
way
It's
that
just cheating.
he operates. You know, when he, I have noticed that he's really good at uh driving the narrative on the way that he wants the narrative to go.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at
Which
this,
is
his
from a
chat is
PR
insane.
like vision. I don't know how to say POV. That's fantastic. Like whenever he gets in drama or stuff, and the way that he managed the drama and how he runs out of the drama without any or little to backlash, fantastic. That's fucking fantastic. But
Yeah.
dude, he could have done this. Like he could have showcased whatever he wanted to showcase without making this huge thing. I mean, I understand that he wants to drive people into his channel and have more views and pay his rent with
No, I
that and
think
blah blah
he's.
blah.
I
But
think he's
like,
also genuinely upset with the update because if I were a keyboard player, which kinda I am, I'm 100% upset about it as well. Like 100%. But the way he's, I also like that he wants to bring attention to this issue because it is a fucking huge issue in my opinion. But the
yeah,
way
it
he's
is
doing
an
it is
issue.
just not
But the
okay.
way that the way that he managed the issue,
Yeah,
it makes
he's
an
just.
issue. It, the issue instead of the game itself, it ends up being virtually cheating, you know. And all the focus that we had to had on what the issue was in the first place, we move into I virtually cheating again, man, and people getting mad at him instead of the other thing, and that's that's
There's so many
really bad.
issues. There's so many layers to this issue. Obviously, one, that he's
Yeah,
cheating.
yeah.
Two, that he's basically saying, "Bro, it's so easy. We all can just do this on our own." But he's also using an analog keyboard, which is a money sink if you want to replicate what he's doing. On top of that, let's just talk about the implications that it has as influencer to game creator. Like, it's clear that I don't know if Nadeo actually watches what Virtual does, but like honestly, it doesn't seem like it, or nor do they really care, because it's like he brings attention to the game, so they're just gonna like pretend like it's not happening. So like
I think that they know what he's doing. I mean, last time that when this issue happened with the Midori map of him, uh, they released a communicate saying that this was not allowed, and hopefully this was the first and the last time that he will do something like this, and blah blah blah.
I
But
wonder
it
if
seems like he didn't give a fuck about it and he did it again.
I wonder if that
Because
was
he knows that he won't get any punishment from doing the stuff.
I wonder if that was actually due to Nadeo themselves, or just through Phoebe, whose entire job was to focus on what was happening in the community and bring those topics up to Nadeo for them to actually create a response for. Because now there is no Phoebe, there is no community manager, there's nothing. You just have passive aggressive tweets from both Hylis and Derek every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
That's the communication from Nadeo now.
I mean, they do read and watch a lot of things. I think they are I think they are more or less pretty much aware of what's happening in the community. I think they are just still handling things weirdly.
Weirdly, yeah.
For example, also, it was a Snicks, no, not Snicks. Almost Hans wrote it in chat. Like Hylis was literally in chat talking to Virtual on the second day, and talking about how to potentially solve this issue. And it really sounded like Hylis actually is interested in doing something about this as well. But
Well, I mean, yeah, they said they're
I mean,
going to fix it in January, right?
yeah,
So
the thing is, though, if you actually want to try to find a way to fix it, Virtual is not the person to ask.
yeah,
Just sorry about that, but Virtual is. I don't think he's really the person to ask for that kind
Yeah.
of solution.
I mean,
I mean, they should know. They should know. They
Well,
are the
at least
developers.
not in a
Like, what
live
the fuck?
stream. At least not in a live stream where literally Virtual is missing half of the chat messages from Hylis because obviously he has too much people chatting. It's just
yeah,
I mean,
bro.
they should know how to fix the issue. I mean, he has 20 years of experience in it.
I mean, I already fixed the issue. I don't know about you, but I like my solution.
I mean, yours, yeah.
Did you see it actually? I mean, I wasn't 100%
People were
serious
calling you
about
out, shorty too, and I don't like your thing because it's like it feels like cheating too. Like, yeah,
it. No. Don't get me wrong. Okay, 100%. Suggested. It's 100% cheating until Nadir would potentially include it as a game feature. It's 100% cheating right now. That's why I did it offline only, and I would never drive a live run with that stuff ever. Apart from that, it's still worse than using Action Key 2, but so it wouldn't even be faster the way I did it. But if Nadir would do an official version of it, it would be faster. But obviously, it was kind of meant a little bit as a fun, even though I actually like it because Hot Lap League has such a thing. So what I suggested is just having a button that holds a perfect angle and basically eliminating, smooth steering as a skill completely. Obviously, that's boring. That's not what people really want. Something like this exists in Hot Lap League, which is a racing game that is kind of sort of similar to Trackmania. So I know how it feels playing with that. And I know that feeling wise, it actually is pretty nice. It takes a little bit away from the skill of holding angles, and the only thing you still have to worry about is only your speed and your racing line. I can understand why a lot of people would absolutely hate this. So it wasn't meant for 100% serious, even though from a personal standpoint, I would not even be not fine with it. But it was just, a little bit of chatting as well to some degree. Um, the actual really proper solution that I afterwards then tried to find is if you a lot of people also suggested that there are racing games where you can select how long it takes once you press the key to go from 0% to 100% and the other way around as well. That in itself is a good idea. Doesn't work because it's just impossible to hold an angle at all. But if you limit the steering range instead of from 0 to 100, let's say on dirt, you want 40, on this turn, 40% is perfect. If you then limit the range to like 35 to 45 and make when you press the key go up and down very slowly, with keyboard, with tapping, you can hold the angle reasonably well to the point where if you narrow this down well enough for each surface and have a calculation that calculates the range depending on your speed and depending on your surface, I think technically you could get to a point where it would be possible to no slide with keyboard almost as good as with gamepad. It sounds more hacky than it actually feels because if you play it, I mean, I hacked kind of an open planet that does exactly this. It feels like writing it is weird, but if you play with it, you actually get a feel for it. Like feeling wise, it feels kind of okay. But anyway, at least I'm trying to find a solution. That's what I'm saying.
I
But
appreciate it,
we will
and
see.
I think. Listen. I don't know how I feel about this. Like it. I think
We can't decide if Nadir wants something like this or not. We also can't
No.
decide if it's better for the game or not. Like that's not up to me. I'm just merely presenting something I think this is the best I can come up with that would potentially maybe work, and let's see what Nadir does
I
with this
mean,
now.
the issue is that the update brought in a car that literally works based on a percentage steer, which benefits controllers. And I understand what Virtual is doing, and like we already said this, we understand what Virtual is doing. We understand why he did what he did. The issue is that you can still make a statement the way he did, but what he did is he physically messed with current sitting records on maps. He could have done it all offline. This is the issue, folks, that I don't think any of you little like virtual plebeians don't understand, is that like it's not the fact that he's necessarily doing it. That we don't really care. The fact is that he's messing with records that people have actually made an effort to get good times on, and he's doing it online when he could simply just do it offline, and it literally has the same effect. He could still do the same exact thing, but instead he wants to add a little pinch of drama salt on there, or pepper, whichever your spice is preferred. Germans, we're looking at you. He's just adding his little drama flair to it to do it online and screw over other people. It's not something he hasn't done before. And so, yes, there are many in the community that are not exactly the happiest with him, and him doing that.
What I can say, maybe I'm not gonna defend Virtual or anything, but I can say what I think is the way he wants to make this reasonable, not problem, or how he would defend himself. I think what he's always referring to is obviously DX tweak and saying, hey, in United, players use DX tweak to limit their steering range, and look, with my keyboard software on my fancy analog keyboard, I'm just doing the same thing. The problem is he doesn't. like that's where the main problem is. Like, what he's doing is something that you can't do with DX tweak.
Batu, I'm a direct a comment to Batu here, who's in our chat, saying, you're saying like his run was zero effort, just some TAS, but I'm not defending him, but you're exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating. I'm saying, yes, sure, he did the run, but he literally went out of the parameters of the game to basically get his time. He may have still done the inputs, but he still edited the game to benefit him and make it easier, even though the game was not designed for him to get a time like that with the current controls and parameters that he could have. So it's sorry, not sorry. I'm still sticking by what I'm saying here. Like, yes, he made the effort, but he definitely went outside of what the game is intended to have. Is that the game's fault? Yes. I definitely don't think he's like being unreasonable by saying the game sucks. Here's a better way. Here's a way to get around it. But like, it's unsportsmanlike and it's unfair. That's the end of that discussion, in my opinion. So
yeah, but to I don't know, Hylis, I think he said that he was fine with it. That it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter
because it's virtual and because that's how Nadio is.
That's so fucked up, because I'm pretty sure that if I do that, I'm gonna get banned because I'm no one.
You're gonna get blocked by Derek. Speaking of which,
I'm gonna become a fucking Riolu. I'm gonna be fucking Riolu.
So let's we give too much attention to the guy who gets too much attention already in the game. Let's move on to kind of the extra part of this whole situation. So you have Hylis. I mean, they're willing to fix it, and they say they're going to fix it in January. Whether that happens actually or not, we'll find out.
No, I don't believe them. I'm sorry.
I think they will, but probably not necessarily in the way that we all think they will. But maybe they surprise us. But
I'm sorry, but it's not a trustworthy organization right now, because they say one thing and then the next day they don't say anything, and then in the next 2 months they won't say anything again, and then in the third month they're gonna be like, oh yeah, we tried to fix it, but actually we are not gonna do it, and instead we're gonna give you this other update that is gonna be fucked up even more. So no, I don't believe that they're gonna fix it. I'm pretty sure that they're just gonna shut up, try to not do anything, see how the people are gonna respond to this, if they are gonna adapt to this, and they're gonna be like, oh, okay, most people that play keyboard are still playing the game, so why the fuck we should have to fix it? So yeah, no, we're not gonna do anything. I think that's what they're gonna do. I don't believe them.
I will say this to kind of close this side of the topic, especially with like Hylis and Nadeo. I at least will give some props to Hylis. Very, very minimal props here. He did continue to talk with the community. He may have disregarded a lot of what the community said, but at least he still was having a conversation with them. Even with some of the, and I think overall the community was relatively civil despite how insane some of the things that were said.
I mean, the Trackmania community in general is usually civil. We just have a couple of outliners that just go too far, but that's the same
Yeah.
in any game. You have like if you are a game, if you have a game, then you need to know, hey, I can't listen to everyone, and especially the ones that insult me. Instead of saying, oh, I'm not going to talk to you anymore now, you have to like blend those people out because you can't get rid of those people in social
Right.
media. They are always there.
Yep. And I think somebody who needs to learn that lesson more than anybody else would be Derek. As this is something that's just super annoying to deal with. I'm sure at least there are multiple people in this just watching and listening right now that have been blocked by Derek, and probably some extra ones on top of it today.
He follows me.
I don't think he follows me, but or maybe he does. I don't remember. Either way, I'm probably, if he ever watches this podcast, he's probably going to block me at some point.
Yeah, if he would listen to the podcast, I think he would have already blocked you.
I mean, I haven't said anything inflammatory. This is probably the first thing I'm actually saying something negative about him. And
yeah, about him specifically, but about Nadeo, we have been pretty negative
oh yeah, about Nadeo.
in general.
Yeah, true. But like, Derek is somebody who is clearly cannot handle criticism. And he hides behind his Twitter saying that it's my personal account. Yet here you are on your said personal account with the title Producer Ubisoft Nadeo working on Trackmania.
Well, the title doesn't matter. I don't care about the title.
Hold on. Let me preface what I'm about to say here, Shorty. Really mad. Yeah. So this is what I'm trying to say though, is that you say it's your personal account, yet you on your Twitter you already have producer. Like the second you publicly put yourself out there as the executive producer of Ubisoft Nadeo, you lose any privacy. You want privacy? Make your account private. Otherwise, if it's public, get ready. Because everybody's going to let you know how they feel. So, during the snow car stuff, and Hylis was managing to respond to everybody, Derek, on the other hand, was like, people don't understand how hard it is to debug a network issue, which happens to 20 plus player servers. Oh, that was because snow car, when it released the first 2 days, cup of the day, it was broken.
Oh, yes.
That was another fun issue that was added on top of the release. And then this is the thing about Derek. He can't just end it here. He said, people don't understand how hard it is to debug a network issue, which happens on 20 plus player servers. Also, we can't reschedule a CUTD. That's not that easy. We are still looking for a fix. That's all I have to say. But then, literally right after that, he says, but keep insulting Nadeo and the team. That's a good way to keep the communication with us. This is not the first time we will hear a snide, snarky, passive-aggressive comment from Mr. Augustine DeVito, because he loves these type of comments.
Yes, I have the feeling that he is way too passive-aggressive for someone that it's a person that I believe has his front lobe completely developed. Why are these people behaving like a teenager? It's like they got stuck in 18 years old and they just couldn't go over that. And I noticed this on a tweet because Colbert showed something. It says the snow car is slower online. The server saves the state of the car before responding, so you're in the stadium car on the start block offline and the snow car online. And he showed how the car is actually faster. And then this guy, Derek, he commented, I found a bug and will be fixed by Monday server side. Okay. And then he said, and as always, reporting a bug in Twitter is not great. You're lucky. Some tester reported, and I was like, brother.
Okay, so that one, I will give a benefit of a doubt for Derek on that one. I don't think he necessarily meant that as so snarky, but just because of how his tweets always constantly read,
I want to think that is a
Yeah.
language barrier stuff, but I was like that, and that's why I sent it to our chat because I was like, I don't think that actually Carver is trying to report to Nadeo that this happened, but he was just he just wanted to show out to people that the car was just faster, because he didn't tag anyone from Nadeo to check out that. So Derek, probably he was just scrolling on Twitter, and by luck he saw it there. But no one was actually actively reporting to him or to anyone from Nadeo. So I was like, uh, dude. And if you want to say that, I mean, everyone, this is not the first time that this happened. That people actually ask, then where the fuck do we report stuff? Because Nadeo, if you Google Nadeo reporting system or bug system or anything, I believe that it doesn't show up anything. And the only way to report a bug is to go to Ubisoft Discord, I think. And then on Discord, they have like different channels to report bugs from each game that Ubisoft has. It's not even easy to report something.
Here you go. On Derek's profile, you can, for player support, please go to the official Trackmania forums. That's where you're supposed to report your bugs. So there's the link. And the private account of the executive producer of Ubisoft, Nadeo. Yeah.
I mean, that's one of my main reasons what I always find weird. Like he multiple times mentioned that this is a private account and that people should please respect him using that it's a private account. The problem is he keeps on using this would be fine. Even for me personally, the fact he writes in producer for Ubisoft Nadeo working on Trackmania, you can dislike that if he wants to keep things private, but I'm fine with things being private. Being private and secretive doesn't have to be the same thing. But he keeps on using his private or supposedly private account for non-private things. Like he's tweeting about things that aren't known yet or things that they are working on, and says like, here, look, this cool feature we are working on. And things like that, which is obviously not a private use of your account. And obviously, if you don't use your account private, people are not gonna treat you that way. If you want to be treated as this is my private account, then only use it privately, like for private stuff.
I'm gonna let you finish, but I just have to correct myself. The link that I was referring to on his profile is actually a non-functioning link.
Yeah, because the forum isn't online anymore, right?
Yeah, Ubisoft forums have now closed. Never mind. Okay.
Yeah, that's what Lime said with using the Discord. Like the forum was before the Discord, but now they shut down the forums and you have to use the Discord server.
Yeah, I didn't know that. You can tell how much I actually would ever go there, anyways, because forums are useless.
So yeah, he's like, actually, if you want to report, you have to do it the official way, but actually no one knows the official way, so it's like they don't get in line with what they want to do and what to. No, I don't know, they're mental. It's mental. I cannot comprehend the
surely
the thought process that it goes behind.
Yeah. So then we had the snow car thing, and Derek, in his response to that, he's like, please don't be mean to us. And I'm full clarity here. I actually responded to that, and I was like, yo, listen, the people insulting you guys, the developers and everything, like, that's not okay. Like, I think personally insulting people is not fine. Like, insulting their personality, whatever. Never.
It's never okay.
Their actions, however, in terms of, especially when it comes to their job or their profession, is 100% open for critique, and honestly harsh critique, because like and that applies to literally any profession. It is open to critique. You may not agree with that, but sorry, not sorry. That is how it is. People critique me all the time. They're open to critique me all the time. I accept it. I take it willingly. I may not necessarily always agree with it, but you're free to critique me as you please, because it is what is literally like this. Being a commentator in Trackmania and doing community events as an organizer, everything that I do in this realm is able to be critiqued, and that's perfectly fine. Feel free to do so. And it is the exact same way for anybody else. There's no inequality in this. Everybody is able to be critiqued. And for Nadeo, there's a lot to critique, and there's a lot of things because their actions are very yuck, for lack of a better term, because Twitch has muddled my brain into mush. But like, their actions are very questionable, and they do a lot of things. And their employees, especially not all their employees, let me rephrase, their top execs, the ones who are the only communicative ones, who also happen to be very snide and snarky with their comments while they communicate with the community, are 100% able to be critiqued. And today, we had, obviously, the World Championship. Also, congratulations to Carmine Corp for winning the championship. Honestly,
They did amazing.
despite the...
I don't know how to say it, but yes, they definitely played really. I mean, their grand final was really sick performance.
Honestly,
they definitely won
I
the
know,
title.
I know people are going to be like, well, they shouldn't have been there because the thing that happened with ITB. Hold up.
They shouldn't, but they still deserve.
They deserve to win, and they deserve to win, and they deserve to win. Sorry, but ITB was expected to wipe the floor with Carmine Corp, and ITB struggled, and ITB should have never been in that position. So yes, that one round did determine the game, but realistically, like, it happens, and that's part of the game. And
Yeah, it is what it is.
yeah, so they deserve to win.
It is what it is until a certain point, because I was reading on Twitter and I believe that they knew about it like an hour after the map got released, and they were like,
Oh yeah, everyone knew about
okay,
that
whatever,
one.
let's keep going. So I don't think that is I mean, I believe that they really didn't give a fuck, because this was the last tournament, esports tournament, that they're gonna host. So
I
they
mean,
were
that's a
like,
whole different
whatever
other topic.
happens. But I don't see why they didn't fix it, knowing that something like this could affect so drastically, like the events, on how it will come out, like the outcome of it.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Yep.
crazy, but okay, it is what it is.
Yep.
It's also not that difficult to fix. That's the main thing that annoys me. Like, people were aware of it. It's not the most difficult thing to fix as well. Why not fix? Why did it
I
not
don't
get
know
fixed?
what I was reading on Twitter. He was like, "Yeah, it's actually a really hard thing to fix, because you need the
No.
surfaces
I
to
need to change the title.
No, that's very different, Lime. So someone said,
okay.
"Why is this bug even still in the game? You need to fix your bugs." And then Derek
Yes.
responded like, "This bug is really difficult to have. It's really difficult to fix this bug." But he also did mention that that it's still a map issue. Like, he said it's a bug, and the bug itself is really difficult to fix. But that's not he himself. I mean, he said it differently, but still, he did say that it's a map thing, because it is. Like, let's be honest. Nadeo has definitely improved landing bugs a lot in TM 2020, and when they happen, most of the time, almost always, it's the mapper's fault. Just on the TMGL map, it's the mapper fault. It's not the bug itself. You can easily avoid the bug there if you know what you're doing.
So I have to jump in and clarify, because some people are not aware. What happens in the matchup? It was semifinal number 2, ITB versus Carmine Corp. It went down to the last map, wasn't it? I think it was the last map.
7th?
Yeah,
it was the last map.
Yeah, it
It was the last map. Yeah, so score was 3-3 in the series last map. ITB was up 9-6, and ITB had 1-2 with Mime and Afi. on Vortex, I think is the map, right?
No, it's not
No,
Vortex.
it's the
Twisted?
GeForce.
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 GeForce. The one with the two big wall ride signs that you have to jump up to from a bobsleigh. So Afi and Mime, they're 1-2, they're super far ahead, and then they get to the second wall ride, and they both get a landing bug at the same exact time, and they fail the finish, and they lose not only that round, but Carmine Corp gets a counter ace, and then Carmine Corp wins the next round off of that because it basically tilted ITB off the planet. So during that time, the going back to Derek, there is a image that's his tweet is deleted, but we still have the tweet.
Okay, can I say one thing? It
Yes.
doesn't matter if you delete tweets, your tweets will always be.
It's the internet, boys and girls.
No,
You
no,
will
no,
always be on the internet.
I still
It
think
doesn't matter.
sometimes it can be better to delete a tweet, though. I don't.
Yeah, but
Even though, of course, you can't delete it fully. Like someone has obviously screenshotted that stuff, but sometimes
it,
deleting tweets can be better.
it doesn't mean you don't even have to take a screenshot or something. There is a website where you can go, and that is like I forgot, Twitter or something, and you can check every single deleted tweet. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you delete it. So if you made an oopsie, people will know about the oopsie.
So Derek quotes what Carmine Corp put the grand ending, the biggest ending in the history of Trackmania, which was the ITB fail with Carmine Corp getting the ace in return due to that fail. And then Derek makes a tweet saying, "Ha ha ha! The best clip of Worlds," and so many interpreted that as him making fun of ITB for losing. He says that he was reacting to Carmine Corp's just like stream because he was watching through Carmine Corp's Kameto's stream. Forever it has a response on this, and it says, instead of being a dickhead over the fact that you guys cannot fix a bug for 20 years, maybe you could fix it instead. Which
Well, there were more funny tweets as well. I mean, I remember
were a lot
mine
more.
posting ha 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 funny. Granadi only wrote ha 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 ha. Someone else was like, delete this tweet, and I don't remember what else there was. Let's just say either people were memeing or not happy. Those were the only two responses that tweet got.
I think that was just a bad timing. It was really bad timing.
I don't think it's bad timing. I feel I mean, obviously it's also bad timing, but I mean, he said he didn't understand that's a land bug, but if he didn't understand it's a land bug and why they were laughing, why is he going out of his way and feels the need to retweet something where he didn't even understand why they were laughing?
Not only that,
I don't buy that he didn't know it was landing bugs. Sorry, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't buy it.
So what Shorty's referring to is Derek then removed his tweet, and then
I thought you said that already. So.
Yeah, he said, removing my last tweet. Sorry, I didn't know it was a landing bug. I was laughing at Kameto's reaction, not at the defeat of ITB. And this would be fine. He could have just ended it right here. This is same with this tweet from the other day about the snow car thing. He could have just ended it and said, "Hey, we're fixing it," and then could have ended it. But no, he has to go continue, and he has to continue and say, "But thanks, I've added many people to my block list." What is the point? Like, you were so close to having a clean PR statement. And then you just go on and say, "But I blacked people." Like, bro, come on. It's so childish, man.
It's just unneeded. It's just
bro.
not needed.
Somebody get this man a PR class.
Yeah, you just made a mistake, mate. Just apologize and all good. Like, but why does it have to be this way? I don't know. Like, people make mistakes. Like, even though I personally still don't really want to buy that he did not notice that both of them got a landing bug and didn't finish, because did you even look at the clip? But even then, like, just apologize and all good. Like, I'm not one of the people that said you should lose your job over this. Ha ha ha.
Right.
No,
I was,
it's
yeah.
definitely not. But still, like, that was definitely
As
a
much as
mistake.
I think like he has no business being on the internet with the way he just is so flippant about like people criticizing him, but like he wouldn't be criticized if he wouldn't say stupid things like these. like, like everything would be fine if it wasn't for it. But keep insulting us for Nadeo and the team. That's a good way to keep communication with us. I'm really snarky. Or the thanks, I added many people to my block list, and it's. And these aren't like the only 2 times this has ever happened. This happened so many times before him where he complains about people mistreating him. It's when he made a thing about the Japanese flags or whatever. Oh no, the UI. And he's like, oh, the Trackmania 2020 UI is so good. And everybody was like, no, it's actual dog. And then he was like, everybody's so mean to me. This is why I block so many people. And it's like, my guy. like,
Yeah, I mean, that's also the tweet I was referring to when he said, like, why do you, like, that was literally about, I don't know, whatever. It's just,
it was
why?
whatever.
You just, mate, you're asking for it. You're asking for it.
He's asking for feedback. He's making
Yeah.
But then he hides behind when people point it out, like, you're being ridiculous, and he's like, it's my personal Twitter. It's like, no, it's not. As long as you claim to be the executive producer of Ubisoft and have that on your Twitter profile, you are a public figure. Sorry, not sorry.
And especially if you literally post a tweet saying, hey, look how good we made the UI compared to back then. Like, what do you think people are gonna do with that? Like, what are you expecting? You're basically asking for opinions. It's so weird, but yeah, and then you can't handle the opinions.
Please, if there's an HR person that even exists at Nadeo, I can't speak French, but pick PR classes, please. Like,
For real. There's just so many. I mean, yeah, there's so many people in the community that need to take PR classes because they literally just don't know how to.
How do you say that in French?
I don't know, désolé.
Public relations classes. I can't pronounce French. I could say it in Korean for you guys. Does that count? Or German?
Why do you know it for Korean though?
It's here. Yeah, somebody. Yeah, that. Sauver de cause les relations publiques. I don't know. I don't speak French. You guys don't even pronounce half of the consonants in your language.
Well, I had French 4 years in class, but suivre des cours de relations publiques.
Yeah.
No, it's not relation. What the fuck?
Relation?
Relation. Yeah. Difficult word.
Suivre des cours de relations publiques. There we go. Just gotta add a little to it. You know what I'm saying? All right. So yeah, I'm done talking about it. I like Derek. I want you, like, if Derek ever happens to watch this, Derek, I don't hate you. I actually really would love to, like, support you in everything that you do. Please just stop making backhanded comments to everybody, and then we could all move on in peace. Like, I think that's all we're asking for, is, like, you don't have to like the criticism. You don't even have to agree with the criticism. But stop acting like a child on the internet. It's so unprofessional. It's unreal. Like, I get to act like a child because I'm a freaking commentator. Like, it's what I do. Like, but you're an executive producer and you're running a business. You were supposed to act like a businessman. Like, bro, get a grip. All right. Anyways, is there anything else that we could talk about?
Now we're gonna get a block.
We're gonna get blocked now. Just do what Roxanne did and spam the mirror emoji or something.
I mean, it's also kind of sad that obviously obviously people also then took his tweet as if he's serious and making fun of the bug, and then he blocks people because of their response to that. Like, he should also understand that if he, like, just like he misunderstood the tweet the clip apparently, he has to understand that people are gonna misinterpret his tweet and respond in a way that they otherwise also wouldn't have responded. Like, for example, he blocked forever, for example, which did say dickhead to him. But given the situation, I feel like that should have been excused at least, like considering how much Forever brought to his game, to what he's working on, and they are kind of on the same side, right? I feel like blocking the people that just randomly harassed for the sake of harassing is obviously fine. Like blocking these kind of people is okay, but blocking someone like Forever that is just just lost quite a bit due to probably the most unlikely bug situation we ever had in Trackmania, and then sees this tweet by Derek. Come on, just have a little bit of understanding.
Yeah.
It can also be taken as like, yeah, we did this like as a fuck you situation, like, yeah, we know about this bug and whatever, and we don't like you, we are French, we're gonna support the French, so well, blah haha, fuck you for not winning the match, but it's whatever. And it can be I can completely understand on Forever being fucking mad about it.
I
And you
mean,
cannot
Forever
just
would be mad
block
about it even if you said, "Ooh, unlucky," and then he'd be like, "Shut up, you don't know."
Yeah, because
like,
it's Forever, and we all understand Forever.
we do.
know? But in that moment, I can completely understand him being even more pissed than seeing the developer of the game laughing at something that happened to your team and not doing anything to fix it. It's like, yeah, no.
I mean, it's not Derek that should have fixed it because I don't think he's responsible for any TMGL
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
But
he's
either way,
not
it should have been
responsible,
fixed for
but
sure.
he's on the side of the development, so at least I believe he will know about what's going on with the game.
Yeah, I mean, the bug itself, I don't think that he was ever gonna be able to fix it. Even though, talking about landing bugs, here's one thing I want to still mention about the snow car. Anything else, whatever, we already talked about it. I could say even more things about it, but it doesn't matter anyway. But why the heck do you import a car that is really prone to landing bugs and not at least fix those landing bugs 20 years later? Man, why? Like, the snow car it does land bug quite easily and very often.
There's
And it's
also
literally the same as 20 years ago. They didn't change anything about that at all. Why?
There's also another issue that the snow car has, and it's on outside dirt. For whatever reason, it clips like super awkwardly on the outside of it. Like if you hit the outside dirt just a specific way, and it's super annoying. Did you experience that?
I think that's because of the hitbox. If you look at the hitbox is not the car, not the tires. It's those little mirrors, side mirrors that it has on the side sticking out.
Oh, yeah, because like it's so
Yeah.
weird, bro. Because you'll like hit the outside dirt, and you won't even be like super close to it, and then your car just acts like it just smacked a wall.
Outside dirt is weird in general. I'm not sure if it's only the hitbox that is messing up there, because if you look at the clips, what's happening there, it feels kind of very weird and wonky. But I think it should probably because of that hitbox. But the hitbox is weird.
I just know it was
Also,
super
same
noticeable.
as 20 years ago, didn't change at all. Why?
Yeah, I just know it was super noticeable on that Tona Cup of the Day, the first one, which was super funny, by the way. The Cup of the Day.
Yeah, it was very. I mean, it was funny. I'll give them
that. It was funny, bro. I was in Div 2 and 30. Oh wait, you were in the Div with me. That's right. And then 33 people went out in our Div in the first round. Good times.
And you like just wrote wheels clip into the ground. Yeah, could be. I don't know. Something is definitely more weird than just a hitbox with that outside dirt. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, in general, that update just feels so rushed and not really planned or like thought through. I feel like if you do this and the card changing, the way the card changes is amazing, but gameplay wise, I think they could have definitely thought things through a lot better and maybe have also more physics that, work better together with Stadium, and how, people that like Stadium are not really that likely to like Snow usually. So I don't know. I mean, obviously the player base is very different now to how it was 10 years ago. So
here's a good question.
But still,
here's a good question. What do you think about the people who are wanting to already start incorporating snowcar into competitive tracks.
I think they are. Okay, we said insulting people is wrong. I think they are getting a little bit ahead of themselves times 10.
We're not insulting people. We're asking your opinion.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, no, I wanted to say they're idiots, but no. I think it's definitely way too early for that.
I think it's a bit premature is what
And
I'll
I know
use.
I don't even know if it ever is a good idea in my opinion.
I like at most maybe a section, but to have like, and when I say a section, maybe like a 5-second section that does like a trick with the car. But like if we're just talking about using the car just to use the car in a competitive map, you're insane. Like,
I mean, there's definitely going to be competitions with snowcar, and there's probably this is why I'm annoyed about it, because I think this is going to separate people again and more, and you're going to have like competitions that are either snowcar only or stadium car only, and that is just what I thought. If they are going to bring in more gameplay aspects, that should not happen. Like for example, you can just bring in new stuff.
That's fair.
Without it being keyboard unfriendly, without it feeling like this doesn't belong into Stadium, which a lot of people are going to say this just feels not like Stadium, because obviously it isn't Stadium, you know what I mean? Just bring in stuff that makes sense with the Stadium car, or like makes sense with how it feels to drive the Stadium car in a new, different car. Where no, but like I wished we would not even have to have this discussion. I wished we would get this new car that is just named, I don't know, random car FX or something, and everyone would be like, oh my god, this is so cool, this makes so much sense, and just gradually, naturally include it in competitions because everyone likes it. This is how I would have envisioned it. And and sadly what we get is a 20-year-old car that is not updated at all, and the surfaces where they did have to make new physics are just 100% smooth steel. Okay then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of competitions, we obviously are now going to be lacking for what is being said right now is that Team 2024 Esports is likely not going to necessarily be a thing from Nadeo, at least. And there was this whole, and we mentioned it in a previous podcast, that there was going to be a meeting amongst all the organizers to try to solve this issue. And that meeting was largely successful. It formed a council, and that council was going to bring a proposal, or at least an idea, to Nadeo of how the community could run the idea. And this was based on information from SRK. Basically, that the council was running off of this information from SRK, and then come to find out over the weekends, Nadeo did not know anything about the community attempting to bring a proposal, and Nadeo is still in talks with a bunch of other people. And
I mean, I guess that's both good and weirdly fucked up at the same time.
I don't know what's worse, and I don't know how much we're allowed to talk. And it's not like, I mean, our whole thing is about transparency, right? That's what we said about the council. So doesn't mean being transparent. The issue is that there were a lot of conversations that were held on behalf of the council to the teams and the orgs, telling them before even getting the approval of Nadeo that the community and this council were going to handle Trackmania 2024 Esports. And so now we're in this really awkward position where that statement is not true. Nadeo did not know about us doing this, and the orgs are giga confused, and they want answers. So what do? And that's the future of esports.
Well, if only, I mean, having misinformation obviously is a very big problem with these kind of things,
Yeah.
but now it's a little bit late. Don't ask me. I don't know.
Yeah. So I wish coming into this podcast we had answers and like an idea of like, hey, the community is going to band together, and the community wants to still band together and save Trackmania Esports, and I think we can, even if Nadeo doesn't like follow up and say yeah, we want the community to do something. I think the organizers can still band together and create something, even if it's not like the official circuit or whatever. But at the same time, it's like, oof, there's literally no idea what's going to be happening in 2024 yet. And we thought maybe we'd have the answers after this weekend. Sounds like we don't have the answers at all.
Actually, we know less than we knew before, to be honest. Right?
Yeah, we actually lost we lost information. Let's put it that way. So yeah, we'll see.
Give me my 2 hours back from
yeah. Can
from
I?
Last week.
Hey, for you it was 2. For me, it's been up to 6 hours. I think at this point. So where's my refund?
Sad.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, Trackmania 2024 should be interesting. But hey, there's still going to be LAN events that are going to be happening.
I mean, at least stuff is still happening, and you never. We don't really know if it's good or bad. I mean, we don't know who is talking with Nadeo, or who Nadeo is talking to about potentially running this esports circuit for them. It could be, and it could end up being a very good thing.
Yeah,
we just don't know.
Blast. Imagine having events organized by Blast.
I don't get your hopes. I think you're a little bit. I think you expect too much.
I think you're expecting
Are we gonna
way too much.
have organizer 1, 2, 3 productions?
Maybe. But speaking about production, what is your general opinion about the World Cup and the production of it?
It was beautiful.
I have to be very careful because I have mixed feelings on it.
Okay, I know. I mean, just
you're
because
gonna try to get me canceled.
Just because I said the word expectations, I just wanted to say that overall, I think it could have been a lot better. But given the expectations I had, they were definitely the expectations I had were met. So I think
ZQSD did what they could.
The stage was nice.
I think the production company did what was probably given to them, and they did the best of their ability, and I think they executed well. Do I think that the show itself was good? Not really. I love Geek and Turbo, but their hosting ability is not the greatest, in my opinion. That's just my personal opinion. You can flame me later for it. I think they're really good casters, and they definitely were struggling. Caster-wise, they were definitely struggling. Just because I've worked with them for so long, and I worked with G-Geek the entire year for TMGL, I feel like I'm in a position where I can at least give some critique, and I think that their handoffs to each other were way over improved. They actually handed off to each other multiple times mid-rounds, rather than one caster does one round, one caster does the other round. They actually had a really good flow going towards the end. I don't think it didn't... Like, Hans, I'm going to be honest, I don't think it needed to be hype as much every single time. I actually dislike it when it's hype 24/7. Like, not every single round, not every single match needs to be hyped up. Of course, towards the end, yes, 100% it needs to be more hype. But that's why it's like you got to pace yourself. I think it's okay to be slow and chill at the beginning. Like, it's like a climax, not in a sexual way, but like it's a climax, right? You build up, you start slow, you build up, and then at the end you want to have like a big hurrah, like let's go, oh, super hype, amazing moment, because it's the end. And I think going super hype from the get-go is not okay. I think you're just going way too hard, and you're putting that expectation towards the end. As far as I'm talking about the entire thing in general. Not just the commentary, but also like the show itself, it needed a host. Or at least somebody to do the interviews. I think having Turbo and G-Geek do all of it was a lot for them, I feel like. And just as a personal gripe, I really don't like seeing people with just like blue jeans and a button-up shirt. You can disagree with that viewpoint. I don't really care, but I think like if you're at a grand final and a championship event, you should dress your best. And I just not a fan of people wearing just blue jeans and a button-up shirt. It drives me insane. But it's their choice, and I've worked with Turbo and G-Geek. Turbo dressed up a little bit more today, but yeah, I've worked with Turbo and G-Geek before, and G does not like wearing anything formal, so that's as formal as he's gonna get. But yeah, still, my personal preference is that they dress up for an event like that. You should meet the level of the event that you're bringing and commentating for. But outside of that, I think they did a good job. I think the commentators did a good job. I liked a lot of the transitions that the show did. I really just think they needed like one or two extra people to help kind of keep the flow going. You don't have to be a banker or car dealer. See, this is why I don't understand when people just don't understand personal opinions. It's like, I think it's fine. It's whatever. Like,
I mean, not everyone likes to dress up, but I do think that at least, I mean, I don't mind the jeans personally, but yeah, I also think like a suit at the top
The
is
thing is
a
that
little
this
better.
event, in my opinion, it's not like an average event. This was the final of the World Championship.
mhm.
Therefore, you have to dress up for the occasion. You can say, okay, I'm someone that dressed up like casually, not so formal, not like a banker or a car dealer, as in the chat someone's saying. But you have to dress for the occasion. You cannot come with just like a t-shirt that is like a shirt. It's not. You have to give the how is it called? You have to give the momentum what it needs, you know. Besides that, because I also noticed that, besides that, I think that the production itself, like how the stage was put off, the lights, the PCs, the casting booth, kinda ish, because it wasn't a casting booth, I think. I think that it was fantastic. Like, it was
It looked very
so
good, yeah.
good.
I didn't expect this to turn into a dress code discussion, but
No, but it's something that when you talk about like the whole production and stuff, you have to talk from dress code, how the PCs were put on, the lighting, the microphones, the transitions, the timing, everything goes into production. It's not just what you see on the stream. It's also the behind the scenes.
I think the production was
Um,
super clean. I just want to
the
make
Yeah.
that clear.
production was
like they
fantastic. Yeah,
they
that's
did
what
a
I'm
good job
saying.
with that.
Yeah, my criticism is solely just on like the personnel portion of it, like not the I really do think that Turbo and G did a good job. You're not gonna get better people than them. So like
No.
they had the two
No.
best commentators that were going to be there. Now, as a coworker and a colleague of them, I definitely have criticism of them because we can always criticize each other and level each other up. So that's where my criticism is coming from. It's not because I'm just like hating on them or being salty that I wasn't there, even though I am a little salty that I wasn't there. But
Yeah, I think you are salty that you weren't the host. I know. Yeah, I
or
know
just an
that.
interviewer. Just let me be the interviewer. Let me be the guy that holds the mic.
To be honest, I'm also quite salty because, listen, okay, this is me ranting just because I want to rant, okay? I asked if they needed a photographer for the event. No, I didn't ask if they needed a photographer. I offered it myself to be there. And I got told, no worries. The sponsors will have a photographer covering the event. I haven't seen a single picture. Where are the pictures? I want to see them. and I'm mad because I
don't
wanted
think
to
they
take
had
the
it.
pictures.
Do you think they had a photographer? I don't know if they
I
did.
don't think so.
No, I
They had
haven't seen anything.
cameras.
And on social media, on what they were posting, there were like a couple videos and stuff, and I was like, okay, cool, but I didn't see a single picture.
Yeah, I
And
think they thought they don't need that, probably.
Probably.
yeah, that
That's
is
my guess.
so wrong. But okay, whatever. I'm not
I mean, I'm full transparency. I did reach out to Tona and I was like, "Hey, are you guys going to?"
on it.
Yeah, I reached out to Tona. I was like, "Hey, are you guys planning to have a host or like an interviewer? Like, is there something like that? I feel like I would love to put my hat in the ring if it's possible." And Tona was like, "No, unfortunately, we already have our max staff." But I already knew at the time that it was Turbo and Jiggy who were the casters, and I was like, if they have their max staff, and I haven't heard any rumblings from Virtual or J-Nick, so I was like, it's probably only going to be Turbo and G-Geek as the broadcast, the official broadcast, and that's going to be it. And I was like, they're really great casters, but as far as hosting and everything, they still like have a lot to improve. So it's going to be interesting, and it kind of turned out the way I thought it would, and because you have to be not. I don't know how to say this, but like you have to have a lot of charisma and confidence when you are a host or just doing anything like on stage without hiding behind a desk. And any small things that you do are hyper focused on by the audience, whether you think I'm crazy or not. It's true. Like the smallest hand gesture, the smallest eye twitch, like somebody's going to notice that and they're going to point it out. And so you have to have like a very clean and charismatic presentation from the hosting side. I think they did good for what they for what they did, but I think that the production could have been leveled up, just a smidge, and that's just my personal opinion. But they did good, so GG.
I was a successful, brother. I cannot speak today. Wow. Sorry, it was a successful event overall.
Yeah, it
and
was.
I like it. I think. I mean, I had expectations on how. At least I am focusing on the stage mostly, and I had like I thought that it would be like close to XP Evo, maybe a tiny bit more. But it wasn't even a tiny bit more. It was a shit ton more. I really like it how it was presented. And I'm really sad that we don't really have the opportunity to have a stage like that for example, like a whole championship, like a whole competition where every weekend we could see the people on the stage competing.
Now,
That would have been
did you see the
so
behind the scenes
amazing.
picture of that studio though?
No.
Okay.
I only saw
Okay.
the videos of players practicing. in the
temper
chairs,
your
but-
expectations there. Like the stage itself, yes, it looked really nice. Like the stage was great, and like the whole like setup that they had was really great, and that's how it should look. That's how it should look when you have paid employees, not a group of freelance pro bono community members making a production that rivals that of a world championship production. So yes, I'm glad they blew it out of the water, because otherwise it'd be something really wrong. However, on the back end of it, there was a bunch of pro players crammed together in a very small, tiny office room as their practice room. And when I say it was smaller than
yeah.
one of the cubicles of XP Evo, it was smaller than one of the pro cubicles in XP Evo, and they've stuffed all like 16 players in there.
Oh yeah, I saw that, and I was like,
There was a
that's
lot of
kinda
stuff happening on
sus.
the back end that nobody heard about, and I heard there was more issues, but like that
But was the food okay? That's the important question.
was the food okay? Yeah, that is an important question.
I mean, that was one of the criticisms for for like 2 years ago or something like that. I remember that.
I mean, if it's French food, then oof, good luck.
I mean, it has to be French food. What else? But still.
Yeah, well, French food is not the yummiest.
Anyway, I wanna one very important question, and I really want to get behind this. So, who do you think broke the trophy?
Oh, did the
Because
trophy break?
no, did you? I mean, at the beginning there was like this, like a lot of trophies have this kind of metal thing at the top, right? And the trophy used to have that as well. At like after the semifinal or something like that, all of a sudden it was gone. And I watched through Trilux because they can be a little bit mean sometimes, but it's also a little bit funny at the same time. And they were speculating that's probably maybe Afi like just gave it a kick after in the break after the match he lost. But yeah, definitely, I think it broke. Yeah, something was missing there at the top during the end.
Oof.
Yeah, it's like closing
It was
niche.
forever as revenge.
Yeah, forever, really
Yeah,
bad.
or Afi, but definitely not mine.
Yeah, definitely not mine. Mine's too like chill. He's like,
Yeah,
whatever.
he's. But Afi, I mean, you could really see how Afi how he exited the stage, and obviously he has every reason to be upset. Definitely.
Wait,
But
but because I mean, I was watching it, okay, but I was also talking to Gecko, so I didn't really watch what happened in that moment. Afi just
no,
straight up
they
rage quit,
no,
and
no, no. They
he.
they shook hands with the opponent players,
Oh,
and
okay,
afterwards he
okay.
directly left, and mine
Ah,
was
yeah, that's
still.
completely fine then. I
No,
was
no,
like,
no drama, no drama, all good. Like he paid the respects to opponents and then he left. But you could see in his face and how he was walking that he was definitely pissed about what happened. Obviously, like who would not be pissed about that? I think mine also was pissed.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
yeah,
of
super
course, it's
unlucky.
something.
obviously,
It's really like because you can say, "Oh yeah, we lost this game, this match because of any mistake that we could have done," but this escaped from their hands. So of course they lost because of something else,
no,
and
they
that is
100 in my
so. I don't know. I
in my
wanted to
opinion they
cry now.
100% lost because of the bugs. 100%.
Yes.
If it would have if that kind of stuff happens in map 1 or map 2 and they lose the map because of it, I would still at the end of a match say, "Hey, you still had any opportunity. It's up to you to like focus on it again, despite how difficult that is in that situation, obviously." But it's literally the last map. They are leading 9-6. They only need one player to finish third at least, finish second at least, and they get it. Like they didn't even they all they needed is at least a draw or even a victory for the opponent would have been enough. And they both land back in first and second. Yeah, no, no. Obviously, they lose the next round. Like no way you ever not lose the next round with that. It's impossible. It got stolen by the game essentially. But yeah, no, I don't know.
Yeah, it's everybody's really mad at me because I critiqued French food, but I'm sorry, I find French food just not it. But and British food is worse. So there you go. Like it goes British food at the bottom, French food, and then everything else is better. All right. The French fries can stay. Yeah. I mean, GG's to Carmine Corp. I think I still think they deserve to win, and
They played
yeah.
played very well. Also, especially the final, they had a really
Spanish
good
food is
performance there.
amazing.
Dude, Otak was like a fucking beast. I think Otak was like still mad from Ascension, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get the world championship," and he did it. Like, yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing. Wait,
Oh, yeah,
he's 18 years old.
Who Otek? Yeah, he's super young.
Yep.
Wow.
Bro, homie is
Yeah,
on
even more
like
deserved.
yeah. He won XP Evo. I think he did super well in didn't he do super well in Ascension? Or no, or maybe not. I mean, he was in the top 8. I think, right? I think.
Yeah, he was in top 8. He lost. It was really weird the way that he lost his place basically.
Did not make top 8s. Okay.
No.
But either way, no. He still made it to the grand final for Ascension. So he was there on the last day. But he won XP Evo, and then to win the championship. Also, let me just tell you something. People have said multiple times how Carl Jr. he's the best player ever. Carl Jr. I think is an insanely talented player, but what showed this year especially is his lack of keeping his nerves at a physical LAN. He may be a really good online player, but bro, if Ascension and this current LAN that he just played is anything to go by, he does not handle the pressure or the nerves well. He gets very tilted very quickly. Because you saw multiple times, if you saw his player cam, he was freaking out over like quite a few mistakes that were happening, and he was and like anytime they would win or like have or like any type of relief, it was a massive reaction on his end. So he was definitely in the feels for majority of the event, and it was the same exact way in Ascension 2, where he almost didn't make Ascension because he missed the first time and then barely made it in the second time to make to the grand final, and then he didn't even perform that well at the grand final of Ascension. So yeah, it was kind of rough.
You know what I saw in this competition at least is that I mean, unless the last match where we saw Carmine Corp like being super dominant, is that every other match was also really you couldn't see anyone that was really dominated the match. You know, it was like a fight upper fight. There's not just one player or two players that are just like killing everyone and everything. It was like oh, I forgot the word. I cannot speak today. But yeah, that's it.
What were you
That's
gonna say,
what I wanted
Shorty?
to say.
Yeah, I mean with Carl, I mean I'm hearing things here and there, obviously about certain players, and with Carl and Peck, I'm just personally also not sure how much they still practice and how much they are still enjoying the game, and if maybe that's also at some point being one of the reasons. I
Yeah.
mean they have been around for so long. They have been around before things like multi-style or identities were even required in competitions, and I don't know. I mean, it's always difficult to speculate with things because you don't know this. You also don't know mentally wise. You don't know if if it's really the mental side or not. But yeah, I do think that maybe not being as practiced as maybe when he was like 5 years ago and still having a blast at playing the game as maybe plays a role to some degree as well, which is no excuse, obviously. Like if you're not fully practiced, it's your fault. But it's just what you hear about certain players, and I could understand it if they not have the same drive to win as they used to.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think we can slowly wrap it up here, or begin to wrap it up here. Yeah, it's been a crazy past couple weeks, and I wish it wasn't so crazy while I was literally on vacation over this weekend, because that was kind of annoying, but it'd be what it be. Most people don't know what I'm talking about, but like right after the snow car incident that we had the esports future stuff that were happening with the council and everything, and that was just not fun to read as I would chill on my vacation. But yeah, there are still more things to come. XP Evo is still happening. There's still a lot of events happening in 2024, so of course there are more things to check out. Also, we'll be having some competitions coming in. Also, even on top of that, Evo did just release the snow car server, so if you want to play some snow car and mulled about it with us, you can hop on our Evo snow server, and also suggest maps or make maps for it if you would like. You can do that through the Discord.
I think I have to leave Evo now.
Oh, okay.
I'm not okay with that.
Okay, surely. And then on top of that, now you made me lose my train of thought.
That's why I'm here. Sorry.
Yeah, and then coming, we haven't made the announcement yet, but coming December 1st, something's happening. Who would have thunk?
Christmas things?
Christmas things? I can't say anything, but
I don't know.
You better watch
I don't
out.
know anything.
You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why.
Good one.
Dude, can I say something? Okay,
Yes.
this is
Go
quite
ahead.
random. Okay, yeah, remember when I told you that my supervisor started giving me Thursday for
jeez.
free?
Mhm.
Yeah, and then that I should, and that he asked me if he could watch the podcast. I never sent him the podcast or anything. And now I saw I check my schedule for the next coming weeks, and he is not giving me the Thursday for free now. So I guess he's mad at me for not giving him the link to watch the podcast.
Oh, maybe he thought you were just making an excuse to have Thursdays
Or
off.
Yes,
or
but
maybe he found the podcast and listened to it when you said you
That
don't
would be
like him.
funny.
That would
oh, that would be
kind of.
so funny. But no, I mean this I have to work. I have to go back to work this week because I've been sick for like 2 weeks now, and we will see what happens. And if he says, "Oh, the podcast is a lie, and you only want the Tuesday free," I'm gonna show him XP Evo and the podcast, but not the name, so he doesn't he doesn't look up for what we say here. Mostly me when I said that thing. Can we delete that podcast, please?
Hmm.
I mean, no.
On a side note, Softy just tweeted as we were talking.
Yeah.
He said, "What a way to end this year for Trackmania's Esports. This event again shows how this game is underrated and has so much to provide. No one can ever imagine how much these players are giving it all at every event, no matter what. You guys are legends. Congrats to everyone who has worked on this event and made it possible. It was definitely a strange feeling not being a part of it, but I've enjoyed every second of it. To anyone doubting Trackmania, this should give you a final answer. Hoping for the best in 2024. That doesn't really say anything, but I just thought it was worth reading. So, considering Softy doesn't have to really say anything about it, but it was his project for the Team WT and everything. And he didn't really get to finish it out. And I kind of wish he would have, but
he was just, going from the sinking ship. He was leaving from the sinking ship, maybe.
I mean, well, yeah. I mean, I think there was definitely a conflict of interest multiple times, and that's probably what left to his.
No, not because of that, but just mainly if Nadeo decides, hey, we don't want to host World Cup, we don't want to host it ourselves anymore. Where does the Softy B leave within Trackmania? Within Nadeo, like nothing to do for him.
He doesn't fit in it, and they probably gave him the notice ahead of time saying that they were going to phase it out. So
yeah, makes sense. I mean, that's good.
Yep. It's probably because they were like, we're not going to give you 2v2. In fact, bye-bye, Esports, kick W.
Hey, at least we got Warbanks.
It all started with 2v2, boys.
Never ever got used. Still don't understand why Softy hated Warbanks that much. Anyway, thank you for hosting.
All right. Well, that is... oh, sorry. Go ahead. If you're not done yet.
It never really mattered that much. Why are Warbanks a problem, but Bugslides aren't? It never made sense.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for watching this evening. That's going to be it for the podcast for this evening. If you want to check out other episodes of our podcast, you can hop over to our YouTube channel where all the VODs are posted up shortly. This one's not going to be posted up right away. It may take a day or so because I am not going to upload it to the Evo. I'm going to let Chris do that as a punishment for him not being the production for today. But yeah. But yeah, you can check that out on the YouTube. Also, like I said, Evo Snow server is up and running. If you want to submit maps, play, or whatever, if you want to suggest maps even, you can do that on our Discord. That's discord.gg/Evo Esports. And yeah, more things coming. XP Evo 2024 is going to be happening. We'll have more events or more announcements regarding that and other events coming in the future. So you guys take care of yourselves. We'll see you around in the future. And of course, another Drop Gears podcast happening in the future whenever it is possible to do so. So you guys have a good evening. Shorty and Lime, thank you again for joining. And we are going to head out. You guys have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.